Use is permitted. You know what? Let's go to 336 in the code book. 336.1. And you guys are going to have to tell me whether I should be adding it to my book or not, because we really don't have this in the book. Listing requirements. Use is permitted. Power, lighting, control, and signaling in cable trays, in raceways, outdoors, on messenger, Class 1 circuits, non-power limited fire alarm, between cable tray and utilization equipment, were installed in wet locations, in 1 and 2 family dwellings, which I'll talk about. Let's do it right now. In 1 and 2 family dwellings, type T, that's brand new change, 2017, TCER cable containing both power and control conductors that is identified for pulling through structural members shall be permitted. TCER cable used for interior wiring shall be installed per the requirements of 334, which is what? Romex, non-metallic sheath cable. Interesting, this exception, where the TC cable is used to connect a generator and associated equipment having terminals rated 75 degrees C or higher, the cable shall not be limited to an ampacity of 334.80. So these guys were smart. They added this provision, this was a Generac proposal, to allow this cable to be installed, but if you have to comply with 334 requirements like right here, then that would have required us to size the wire to 60 degrees C, and they were smart enough to say, okay, but if you're going to use this indoors or in 1 or 2 family dwellings, then we want to make sure that we still use this service entrance cable rating of 338.80, which is 75 degrees C. Informational note number 1, TCER cable is suitable for pulling through structural members. Okay, TCER cable that is suitable for pulling through structural members is marked JP. Then they have a little informational note, 725.136, for limitations on Class 2 and Class 3 circuits within the same cable with conductors, a light power, and Class 1. Well, this cable, if it's in 1 or 2, we had to put it here, 1 or 2 family dwellings, it's the heading we should be at here, can be installed in accordance with NM cable 334. Now, I marked it TCER. Now, TC is straight cable, ER is exterior runs, and JP is joist pull. So now, let's go a little further. Let's go back over here to this note. Note 1 says TCER. You don't know this, but ER means exposed runs. But it says if you're going to use that, JP is required to be pulled through structural members. So this cable, if you look at it, by Generac, I know it's sold by Generac. I don't know who else is selling it. This is TC tray cable. It's ER, which is exposed runs. And since it's being pulled through a joist, it has to be marked JP for joist pull. By the way, the conductors that are inside this cable are 600-volt conductors for power and 600-volt conductors for control. And those control conductors that Generac has done is they've got those conductors colored. Brian, what are the colors that Generac uses for their...
It is black, red, blue, and yellow.
Black, red, blue, and yellow. But they put 5 wires. Don't they put in there?
There might be a white, a neutral, I think, maybe for the charging circuit. Yeah, they probably need a neutral for the... Okay. But so the black and red is the DC circuit, and the blue and the yellow is the utility sensing circuit.
Okay. All right, so now they'll run those conductors in there, and that's going to be the control conductors, and they're Class 1, and 725, I think it's like 36, tells you that you can have power and control conductors in the same raceway as long as they're functionally associated. I'm not sure if that reference I gave is exactly correct. Now, I don't understand necessarily why the information on Note 2 says C25 136 for the limitations on Class 2 and Class 3 circuits contained within the same cable. Because this cable is a Class 1 wiring method. So, and by the way, they added number 10 because Generac wanted to use this cable outside. And they couldn't use the cable outside because it was not listed for direct burial. So you have to get cable that's listed for direct burial to be suitable for direct burial. Yes?
I think all ER cable, that's part, maybe we can have the research department check, but I think ER cable can be direct buried.
Right, but I'm saying the change was made.
Oh, I see.
Because prior to the 17 code, tray cable could not be directly buried, no matter what it was.
No matter what the listing was.
It didn't matter what it was. You could put it in a raceway.
I see.
But you couldn't directly bury it. So now the whole purpose of the Generac getting this cable listed for tray cable is to be able to mix the power and control.
Right.
And when you have a 20 kW generator, here's the cable size. If you're going to have a 27 kW, here's the cable size. It has the control. You directly bury, you bring it inside. If you're going to pull it inside of a building, now you have to comply with 334. It has to be exposed runs, which is going to be your direct burial. I think you're right about that. And then it has to be JP for joist pull, so I can pull it through the framing members. They did a great job putting this together. I'm sure other manufacturers maybe have such an application, or maybe this cable is available beside Generac. I don't know. But I know that they tell me, millions and millions of feet. And now, guess what? It's legal for what they've been doing. 2017 code.